Hello, welcome back to my kitchen. And one of the things I'm trying to do in 2024 is, make better choices, being really aware of what I bring into my home. And when I do my grocery shopping, I'm always trying to focus on sticking to the perimeter of the store and then just getting those little things that I need in the middle aisles, when needed, or if it's something that's on sale that I feel is worth stocking up. So this week's fruit is strawberries because one, they looked absolutely amazing, and grapes because they were on sale. So I just wash everything with vinegar and cold water, and then I rinse it off. The strawberries, I don't cut the tops off, but this way I can just pull them up, cut them up as we need them. And grapes, it's just so much easier to have them washed and ready to go. And the other thing that I've been working on so far this year, you've seen in quite a few of my videos, is just kind of having go-to recipes. Now this recipe I've made quite a few times as banana muffins, but I really wanted to see what it was going to be like doubling it up and making it as a banana bread. So I have some bananas. I actually wish they were a little bit more ripe. I'm just chopping up my pecans, and then I also have a bag of dark chocolate chunks. I have quite a bit of baking ingredients in my pantry, and honestly, I'm just trying to take things here and there to, add a little bit of texture, a little bit of yumminess to some recipes, and I thought this would work really well. I'm not using my little handy dandy food presser or chopper to, cut all this up. I'm just using my knife and my cutting board. It's less to clean up, less mess. And now I am doubling up the recipe. I will link it down below. I have been very, very happy with this recipe as muffins, and everything is stuff that I have in my home. I'm trying to change a couple of things because I'm changing up this recipe a little bit today. And if I was doing the full recipe, this would call for 2 cups of white sugar. So because I'm using bananas, and I wish they would have been a little bit more ripe to have more of that natural sweetness to them, I put about 3/4 of a cup of white sugar and then half a cup of maple syrup. I just want to experiment a little bit about that, about using more kind of natural sweeteners, less sugar and all of that. And that's one of the long-term goals as we progress throughout this year. So I just have my wooden spoon mixing this all up. And the one other ingredient with this I would like to change up to is the vegetable oil, maybe using applesauce with this. Or if you guys have any other suggestions, I would appreciate that down below. I know there's lots of things on the internet, but vegetable oil is one of those things where I know that there's healthier options, but I do like the way that it makes these muffins and banana bread texture-wise works really well. So I'm playing around with it a little bit. So in go the nuts and the chocolates, and we're going to mix this all up. And I know that's one thing they always say about muffins is not to overmix. So I really just want to make sure that all of the flour is incorporated. I have my oven preheating, and then I'm just putting these into glass loaf pans. I've been trying to change all of my stuff to glass, and I find it's easier to wash, and I'm just really happy with these. They're not even that expensive. I just buy them at Walmart. I just used a little bit of avocado oil because my cooking spray is done, and then I'm just going to put these in here, put them in the oven, and see how they turn out. And it was a very busy day. There was a lot of different things going on, and I wanted to get a lot more stuff done. But as always, that didn't happen, but I still wanted to share this process with all of you. In goes the banana bread into the oven. I think it was 350 degrees, and they're going to bake for about 45 to 50 minutes. I apologize. There was a couple of technical difficulties. I lost the footage of the rest of the bread being made, but it turned out really good. This is what is left of one loaf. The other one is in my freezer, and I just sliced it up and put it in the Pyrex container, and we've actually been having this for breakfast the past couple of mornings. Even with the few changes I made, it held up really nice. I like the texture. It wasn't too moist, and it was fine in here for a couple of days, and I will definitely be making this again. Banana bread turned out really great. If you're new to my channel, you haven't watched all of my videos, one of the things I've been trying to work on for the past year is, making more stuff from scratch, trying to eat meals, have a healthier relationship with food. I'm somebody that's struggled with weight all of my life and tired of restricting, trying to do different diets to lose weight and all of that, and just try to make little changes, small and steady, and then just keep having new goals every month, and then, keep continuing the goals that I've been trying to do each month. So we're in February. Sorry I lost the footage, didn't finish off the bread to share with all of you, but it was really good. I've been I tried that banana bread recipe a couple of times just as muffins, but the big test I wanted to do was to see how it doubled up. You know, making a few little changes, less sugar, a little bit of maple syrup, you know, what are some other things that I could do? And it turned out really great. So I could definitely double up that recipe, make 12 muffins, make a banana loaf, and I really like the texture. It wasn't too moist. It held up really nice. So it's been in that Pyrex container. And for our family, Monday to Friday, our breakfasts are pretty early. I don't want to have big messes to clean up. So the way that it works, my husband and I will usually have like a slice of that with our coffee in the morning about 6 o'clock. And then a couple of hours later, we just have like a Fairlife protein shake. Holds us off till lunch. It's been working really great. And then our son has like his own thing of what he likes to eat and everything. So, just some of the options that I've been working on. But I really want to get back in the kitchen. I want to stock up my freezer again because I have absolutely nothing in it for quick, easy breakfast for during the week. And I also want to work on a couple of other little things to share with you. So I'm really kind of doing stocking up my freezer for breakfast, and let's go meet in the kitchen and I'll share a little bit of what I'm going to be making today, and then what also my goals are in the future and what I'm going to be working on, and maybe even you can give me some suggestions with recipes that you and your family enjoy. So meet you in the kitchen. In my kitchen, whenever I go to do something with baking or cooking, I usually have these 3 little things close by. I do have a 4-part food organization series linked down below. I did it years ago. I'm definitely going to be updating a lot of things as this year progresses, so keep watching if you're interested. This is my freezer inventory book, something that I have done for years, and we've lost a deep freeze the last year, and we need to replace it, but I'm working with what I have, and I'm very thankful to have it. But, you know, whenever I make something or buy something on sale, it's really important to keep track of everything too, because sometimes you just forget about it. And whenever you're going to, you know, think about what's for dinner, when you actually see what's in your freezer, sometimes it can help you make, you know, decisions on what you want to make for your meal plan for the week. This is just a little planner that I picked up at Winners, and it's just one of those things. It's kind of having a game plan for the week. Usually lunch and dinner is the one that I focus on the most. So, you know, some weeks I just have a couple of things written down. Other weeks I'm, you know, really, you know, keeping track of everything. But I always, on Monday, I like to have a game plan of at least what the beginning of the week's going to look like. And then usually on the weekends is usually when I want to do a little bit more cooking and stuff in the fridge. And then this little folder I just picked up at Dollarama, and this is where I kind of keep all of the recipes that I've been printing out and working on. Before I would print them out and I would just end up putting them in the recycling and all of that. So that is the Grandma's banana nut bread. This is my go-to one. Today I'm going to be working with blueberries. They were on sale last week, so I want to take this recipe, jumbo blueberry muffins. I want to bake a couple of different things, and then I just did a little brain dump. This really helps me. So for during the week breakfast, things we always have on hand is yogurt, fruit, eggs, and protein drinks. So far my go-to recipes that I know freeze well, that I'm very happy with, are the blueberry muffins, the banana bread or muffins, and my buttermilk pancakes. I want to find a couple of more recipes to, you know, test them out, see how they freeze. Goals, you know, I'd like to kind of do like maybe once a month, like a freezer breakfast rotation. So have like one baked good, something with eggs, something with potatoes, and then waffles or pancakes. And then my long-term goals is to, you know, make homemade bread, English muffins, bagels. And then with our son, there's some textures that we need to work on a little bit too. Baked oatmeal. I want to make some mini quiches, try them crustless. And then I also want to experiment a little bit with a breakfast hash. This is something we would buy at Costco all the time, and I'm wondering if I can recreate it at home whenever certain items go on sale. But anyways, today we're just going to focus on my go-to recipes. Our deep freezer quit, so I don't have a lot of freezer space. This is an extra freezer in our garage, so I have that loaf banana bread. It says right on the recipe how to freeze it. And then this is some cranberry bliss bars that were from Christmas, and they definitely need to be eaten up. I think they're starting to get a little bit of freezer burn with the cranberries, so I just put them into a smaller container. Going to move them into the fridge in the kitchen, and they will be eaten in the next couple of days. So the blueberries were on sale for $1.65 a container. I actually bought 6 of them. So I'm going to make one batch of these jumbo blueberry muffins. I will link the recipe down below. It kind of gives you the step-by-step if you want to see more how I made it. So everything I need room temperature. So milk, the eggs, I use sour cream. And then it also calls for 5 tablespoons of butter, melted and cooled. So I'm just kind of doing everything, dirtying a lot of dishes, but I just want to kind of be prepared. Now, some people might think muffins aren't healthy for breakfast. Everybody has different opinions. And, I've heard a dietitian say that, if you're somebody that doesn't eat breakfast and you're starving and you end up going through drive-thru and you find having a muffin helps you, then that is what works for you. And that's definitely what works for, my family during the week. And, I was buying muffins at, Walmart, and they were very, very expensive. And, they just tasted so good. And there's all these different, ingredients and everything. So I just wanted to make some muffins from scratch. And I did try this recipe. And this is something I definitely would not make all of the time. This feels like a treat, like something I would get at the bakery. And I really like these jumbo ones. So because the blueberries were on sale for a really great price, I used 2 packages in this, and then I'm just going to make these 6 jumbo muffins. And what we did before was, this was kind of like an afternoon, pick me up with a cup of coffee. My husband and I would split one because they're so big, but they just are very nice tasting muffin, and they just feel so light and airy because they get so big. And this is definitely more of a treat compared to having it for breakfast. But because the blueberries were on sale, I want to take advantage of that. So I'm on a time restriction here. I got the second batch all made up. I put them into the 12 muffin tins. The recipe will be linked down below. And I love whenever they put all of the instructions, what to do for standard muffins. 425 degrees for 5 minutes, put the heat down to 350, everything else that you could imagine. I got a little bit of cleaning up to do. That's my pan from last night. I need to soak it and scrub it, a frying pan from lunch, and I just got to get these muffins made. And I have more bananas. I want to make some muffins, but I would like these to get a little bit more ripe. I need to clean my countertops and all of that. My house is toasty warm. The dishwasher is now running, and the oven is at 350 for the 25 to 30 minutes. So here are the muffins. I use a little bit more cinnamon, so it calls for 1 teaspoon. I use 3 because I really like it. And then I'm just getting the oven back up to the 425 degrees, and then these are going to go in. I'm also using things that are on sale to kind of inspire me on what to make. So the blueberries were on for an absolutely amazing price. The oven is at 425 degrees, so I'm going to put those in for 5 minutes. And the other amazing sale was at Walmart. The sale will be over by the time you see this, but a 10-pound bag of potatoes for $1. I think it was a limit of 4, but I decided to purchase 2. And my husband said, "What's with all the potatoes?" I said they were on sale. And he said, "Can you make some home fries to put in the freezer?" And I said, absolutely. Over the years of being a military family, we've had different kinds of postings, and one of them, my husband moved away on his own. The kids and I stayed where we were so they could stay in the same schools. Our son with autism didn't lose any services and didn't have to go, the bottom of the wait list and all of that. It was a sacrifice that we did as a family, and all of these years later, we have no regrets. And one of the things that I used to do was make a lot of freezer meals and different things to help my husband have a home-cooked meal. And this was something I did. So I just take the potatoes, I put them in some nice cold water with some salt. I have these old cookie sheets. They have seen better days, but they work for me. I just put parchment paper on here. I'm going to roast them in the oven. And I just dry the potatoes off, and I want them to be spread out because I'm going to roast them at 425 degrees, a little bit of olive oil, some salt, some pepper, and then I just have some dehydrated onion flakes. Now, this is something that every person is different on what they like and what they don't like. So what I do is I roast them, and then I will throw them in the air fryer. Usually I, take them out for, half an hour or some, and then I just throw them in the air fryer, it crisps them up. And one of the reasons why my husband asked me to do this is because lots of times on the weekends, we'll have breakfast or something, and he always loves to have home fries. So this is quick and easy. This wasn't even half the bag. So this was like less than $1 for all of these potatoes to make home fries. So once the muffins are done, then I'll put these in. I'm just adding a little bit of Montreal steaks seasoning here. I really like these. It gives a little bit of kick. And since my oven is already going, my kitchen is cleaned up, it's a great time to do it. So the muffins came out. These looked really good. So these ones are definitely going to be frozen, but I got to let everything cool. And now my potatoes are in the oven for about 40 minutes. The potatoes are out of the oven, and I don't fully cook them all the way through. Like there's a little bit of like if you stick a knife into it, because they are going to cook more as I reheat them in the air fryer or on the frying pan. But I got to go get my boy. So I am home now. Everything is cool, and it's time to start packing up the muffins. So we are just a small family of 3. So I have these Ziploc take-along containers. I think I bought them at Walmart, and I break the muffins down into servings of 3. And this works for us. I'm going to keep one out. So we're going to have them for breakfast the next morning. And then the other 3 are going to go into the freezer. This has worked for me, and it works really well because that way there's not a lot of muffins out. So you're not just grabbing them because they are there. It just kind of works. There's something for breakfast. And now I'm going to do the large ones, and these are so good. I love that you slice into them and it's just blueberries and then the extra cinnamon. It just has such a nice flavor. And this is going to be my go-to kind of muffin recipe in the summer whenever blueberries are in season. And that was one thing that I was kind of working on in 2023 was, canning and freezing and making certain things when things were in season and tasted really good. Because right now in February in Ontario, Canada, the produce and selections is not the greatest and things don't always taste great. So I definitely want to take advantage of that. And that means we're probably going to have to get some kind of a deep freeze. I'm looking at like a stand-up freezer, but I'll keep you updated. So anyways, here we go. I really like this recipe. I will link it down below, but I also want to try a couple of other blueberry muffin recipes just to change things up too. So I'm not always making the same thing over and over again. But this is definitely going to be my go-to recipe in the summer whenever those yummy, juicy, big blueberries are in season. And I'm so excited about it. And I can't imagine, I can just imagine sitting on the deck in the beautiful summer weather, enjoying a nice muffin with the green grass and nice fresh air with that beautiful sun shining down. Now to the potatoes, and this is something I have done before. I've done different types of freezer cooking over the years for, different circumstances and that for our family, and it just helped me. And I would spend the whole day cooking and making single serve portions and all of that. And it's just something I don't need to do anymore. But the fact that my husband asked me to make this, I'm like, yeah, that's a great idea. Because what I usually do is I'll put a little bit of oil in a frying pan and then cook these up as, we make eggs and toast. Or I will also toss them in a little bit of olive oil and then throw them in the air fryer. So you definitely don't want to make sure that these are fully cooked all the way through, or they'll be really dry and just, no substance to them because they'll be so crispy and crunched up. So you have to play around with it. And the best thing I can tell you what to do is experiment. So instead of doing this, specifically for freezer, just take some leftovers, cook a little bit extra, throw it into the freezer, see how it reheats, and then see how you and your family like it, and just work from there. It takes something small so you're not wasting a lot or, wasting all of your time and then, it doesn't work out. Take your leftovers, make an extra dinner, and just go from there. It's just a nice starting point. And personally for myself too, I just want to do more freezer stuff like this in smaller batches. So I actually did some potatoes on the weekend, and I thought I did more than what I did. So I actually had a couple of bags that were already in there, but I definitely wanted to take advantage of this really amazing sale. So here is my freezer inventory. So you can see I have 3 bags that are in the kitchen freezer, and then the 6 bags are in my garage freezer. When it comes to the baking stuff, I don't really keep track of that because it's used so often. And the way I have it set up, I know exactly what it is. And because we use it almost every, morning for breakfast. So I know I have 3 blueberry muffins. That is the banana bread. Those are the big jumbo ones. And then I have the potatoes here. So I'm definitely thinking about that freezer that we looked at Costco. And I think that would be really great for freezer cooking and taking advantage of certain things when they are in season and on sale. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. I promise I'm going to be doing more of these little things. So if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, give me your feedback, and let me know what one of your favorite things is to freeze to make life a little bit easier.